we're growing to learn a lot more about what owner Mark Davis is doing with the Raiders in terms of how they're going to make a lot of these decisions. And as we've discussed on the show, and as many people know, Tom Brady is a minority owner and he's going to be part of this. You know, Mark Davis was very passionate about leaning on Tom Brady for thoughts, especially when they want to go pick a quarterback at some point here, whether that means in the draft or if that means in free agency, if it means the quarterbacks that are on their roster right now. But what I've learned recently is it's not just going to be Tom Brady's thoughts on the quarterback position, which would make sense, right? Let's ask the greatest quarterback of all time his thoughts on that position. Give me all your answers, please. But really, how involved Tom Brady is going to be in all regards, in everything that has to do with the Las Vegas Raiders, which, look, you're Mark Davis. You're frustrated. You haven't been able to get this thing right in a long time. Yet, actually. Right? So they're going to have to make a decision about their head coach with Antonio Pierce. I've talked to people around the league who believe that this is going to probably be it for AP, despite the fact that the players, the locker room last year really wanted to make this work, and he does have a lot of support there. But I think Tom Brady's going to have a big hand in helping Mark Davis navigate the next steps here. Tom Telesco, who is very liked by Mark Davis, very liked by Tom Brady, I could see them as a trio discussing the next chapters of the Raiders together, a collaborative effort to figure out, all right, what are we going to do if they decide to move on from AP officially, and what we're going to do at quarterback and everything else that comes with revamping, reshaping, and maybe even potentially energizing an organization that could use a little bit of Tom Brady winningness.
That's fascinating to me. Look, I figured he'd have a say in the quarterback, but to see the head coach too. So does that mean they're going to skew toward a guy like Vrabel or a guy that has played with or that Brady knows more often? I mean, that's usually how these things go, right?
Yeah, you have to figure that why would he not call his former teammate, who he's really good friends with, that he won 3 Super Bowls with. I think they won together when they played on the team at the same time. So yeah, that would make sense, but I don't necessarily think that that's the only coach that they would be talking to, obviously, because I think the problem that I'm seeing a lot of teams are having is they all are on the Vrabel train. So it's who's going to get to him first, who's going to sell themselves the most, and then you take a look at the organization as a whole and put yourself in Mike Vrabel's shoes, right? You want to go where? You want to go to a place that has a quarterback. You do not want to. He's already dealt with that. He doesn't want to go through that again of who's going to be my guy.
No, hearing that Brady is going to be so involved, how does that play in with his broadcasting deal with Fox? Because it's like, I get that he's a minority owner, he got that, but now he's going to be doing like day-to-day operations. Can't you see that as like a little bit of
like conflict? It just sounds like a lot of work. Sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
But look, it's kind of the way I felt when Aaron Rodgers. Actually, that's such a bad example. Sorry about that, Raiders fans. I was going to say, I remember sitting on the set on Get Up, sitting next to Mike Greenberg, and, you know, we broke the story that the trade was done and Aaron Rodgers was going to New York, and, you know, there were some analysts that felt so weird about it. And I was like, what are you talking about? This is the best thing they could have done. They're going to bring in a winner, and he's going to show everyone how to win and change the culture. And I was going to use that comp to what I'm talking about with Tom Brady here, because he's going to instill the Patriot way of winning, the Tom Brady way of winning, which I think on paper always sounds good, but I think it may be different when you're not the player anymore, you know? But I wonder if he's going to bring a lot of the same programs he used in New England and the way that, because here's the thing, and Chase, you know this better than anyone. New England people like to do things New England way. So,
kidding.
You know, and they don't really veer off of that way of doing it, which I get it because it works.
Don't you think it soured on Brady the end of his career with like the Patriot way? Don't you think it's the Tom Brady way and everything that he was doing?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think it's both. I hate that fight of is it Bill, is it Tom? They were magical together, right? And the way they are both so disciplined. We talked about this 2 shows ago of just, if you come out of New England, you have a discipline to you and an identity that is very clear. And I think at times very inspiring, actually. But it doesn't always work everywhere. That's what I've also learned over the years, right? As we've seen. So I'm interested to see. I know. I want to see what he does, how he handles all this, because ownership it's different than being the quarterback. It's very different.
Yeah.
Although we have seen some quarterbacks act like the owner.
That's very true.
Thanks for tuning into Scoop City. If you want to hear more, make sure you like and subscribe. We drop our new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.